Well, another week going by at this time of this year means another set of primaries. And in this past week, of course, the California primaries were the big story. So I want to talk about the California primaries, but also the kind of big picture that they represent. First of all, California primaries are crazy. They are nuts because California has this non-party system, which granted might have looked pretty good on paper, but it basically said the top two finishers in any race go on to the general election. Now, sounds good in principle, but then you get all these problems where, let's say, one Republican runs, but 8 Democrats. The 8 Democrats divide the vote. The one Republican comes up on top, or maybe 2 Republicans run and 10 Democrats. And then the 2 Republicans get first and second place. So you got, even though the Republican Party is at record lows in terms of voter affiliation in the state of California, you know, they can wind up ahead if the Democrats don't have their act together or if too many Democrats run. Of course, the notion of people running on third-party tickets was one of the reasons, maybe to break the two-party stranglehold, was one of the reasons for coming up with this system. But, you know, in practice, it hasn't really worked out that way because party candidates still have the infrastructure to look forward to, among other reasons. So it hasn't really worked out. Now, there are other systems, including well, we'll get into those another time, but maybe we'll do a segment on them. There are other systems that would break the two-party stranglehold on our electoral process, but this ain't the way to go. That said, there was a lot of fear that Democrats would do exactly what I just described, shutting themselves out of certain races. That didn't happen. So Democrats at least ended the night in second place in the 39th, 48th, and 39th, 48th, and 49th congressional district. So, you know, really it doesn't matter who ranked first or second for these purposes now. It gets to the specifics of each race. But in most, if not all races, we will see a Democrat against a Republican. Now, the other big story was New Jersey. Democrats picked up 3 House seats there, or rather I should say establishment-backed Democrats picked up 3 House seats there. And that gets me to what I want to talk about in a minute. But before we do, I should also mention that Dianne Feinstein beat back a primary challenge from the left. Kevin De Leon did not get very many votes. He was the left challenger to Dianne Feinstein. He got less than 20%. I think it was about 15%, so maybe less. So what are we to make of all of this? Well, number one, I would say the conventional wisdom is once again wrong. The conventional wisdom says the left didn't do very well. That's true, but the Democrats spent millions of dollars crushing them, and I believe that's going to change. A revolution is not won on its first battle. And number two, I hope they do succeed in changing the party, because otherwise the party will continue to lose.